Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our brand new podcast. We are
Still working on the name. It's a work in progress. We will get back to you on that. That's why you have to watch episode 2 to find out what the podcast is called.
yeah.
Please tune
So
in.
hit like, share, subscribe, all of that now itself, and stay tuned for the name of the podcast. Right. So we absolutely know nothing about anything in
Anything
life,
really, yeah.
and that's why we are the best people to do this podcast, because I'm sure all of you know more than us, and please tell us how much you know more than us in the comments.
Tell us everything that we're wrong about.
Yeah. Before we go ahead, let's introduce ourselves. So my name is Anderson Samuel. I also go by the name Formula Tamilan on Instagram.
Wait, 1 second. Formula?
Tamilan.
But why is it spelled with the Z? I was calling it Formula Tyson. I'm like, Formula Tyson is my friend. Like, repping the South.
Yeah. So Tamilan. So Tamil has like 3 alphabets for the word la. Okay. L-A. Right. So there is we call it the gundula, which is the fat la. Okay. Use your tip of your tongue to say the la. Use the tip on the tip of your teeth. So when you say la, that's your normal la. Okay. So now curve the tongue a little bit and la. So just curve your tongue a little bit and touch the tip of where your teeth come out of your gums or something. So that's la, the second kind of la, which looks like this. And the third, which is the Tamil, the la that is used even in Tamil, is like you curl it up really and then you do a hard la. So that in English is written as ZH.
Okay. So
it's,
I hope all of you all knew that all the new 70,000 followers that Anderson has just received can be 70,000. So if you're a true follower, you need to know how that was pronounced.
Yeah, so that is Formula Tamilan on Instagram. Do follow, and your introduction, please.
Hi, my name is Glen. I'm on Instagram as Secretly Superman, but please don't send me ad requests. It's a private account. Don't want this going viral. So thank you.
Fair enough. All right. So basically, this podcast is predominantly a bunch of boys bantering with some sports references built in. That's I think the bare minimum requirement for a sports podcast, I guess. So that is what it's going to be. We also have a member missing, which is a great start to our podcast. He's I'm not allowed to say certain things. Yeah, but our friend will be back whenever he feels like it. But in the meantime,
friend is a loose word.
Yeah,
our acquaintance will join.
Right. So this podcast, we all have a sport that we are passionate about. Both of us love F1, but I love F1 more, and maybe not more than him, but I also like to watch football. I've recently started following more actively the EPL and Champions League and whatnot, whereas he is a avid cricket fan. So he has F1 and cricket knowledge, and my other friend who's supposed to be here is again cricket and football knowledge. So we all have our splattering of
tidbits of
knowledge, and we also have our friend behind the cameras. He's our analyst for the podcast, Mr.
Ladies,
Josh.
he's single. I will put his
Instagram in the
handle.
bio.
He's a bass player.
He's our analyst. He's our data geek. He also loves gaming as well. So for me, these guys have been part of my wedding. They have been part of our worship team at church and musicians. So we all play together in our own bands and stuff. So so they're all good friends. So any banter here should be caveated that we already we've roasted each other much worse off camera. So this is all no holds barred. Yeah.
Busy week, Andy, in F1. Are you excited because it is race week? The summer break is over.
Okay.
We are back.
I'll tell you something that I've observed about the summer break, okay? My audience also took a break because before the summer break, we had like peak viewership, okay? The F1 movie had just come out, and then the race right after the F1 movie's peak was British GP, where it was a wet race, and that brought in so much of viewership. I had content hit 150k to 100k, and that time I had just hit 50k as well, right? So it feels like I'm complaining I've gotten 20k more in the break, but still the kind of fun banter that I used to get in the comments, I was missing them. I think in general this had to be one of the most boring summer breaks ever, because nothing happened. I think I made a reel also on this. Basically 14 out of the 20 drivers right now on the grid have a contract for next year, and the remaining are very obvious, and nobody cares about the second Red Bull seat. So yeah, there was that brings me on to a very interesting point about the second Red Bull seat. Okay, so if there is a seat available in a top team, usually you have drivers fighting and meeting the team principal and like the team, and figuring out like how to get that seat.
George Russell famously made his PowerPoint presentation to Toto.
Yes. And the fact that Red Bull has a seat which is due for renewal and no driver is in any hurry to go to Red Bull says so much about that seat.
I've heard this about Isaac Hadjar, where apparently it's not up to him. So he would prefer staying where he is. But they were like, if we want you to drive for us, it's in his contract that he can't say no to the Red Bull seat, which is something so unique. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, fair enough. So nothing happened in the break, and in the race week, Cadillac decided, okay, this was the perfect time to drop the... have you seen that Friends meme where Ross tells Phoebe and Joey, Rachel and I slept together, and then Phoebe goes, oh my god, this is brand new information. That's exactly what it was. Everybody and their moms and grandmoms
kept secret
knew that these two are the ones. Dude, this guy, what's his name, Valtteri Bottas, saw a Cadillac on the road, opened the seat, touched it, and a nice seat, and he put this up a month ago. I mean, knowing him, he could have been trolling.
Or just manifesting, just proof that it works. If Valtteri
but yes, so that was the only bit of interesting news that came out of the summer break. Now, you tell me, how has it been as a Ferrari fan through the summer break? Were you at peace?
Honestly, it has just been like my weekends now. I know they're not going to end in disappointment, which is a welcome change, because I'm like, okay, I don't have to look at Charles almost breaking down in tears. I mean, what was that last race in Hungary? By the way, did you see they've officially ruled out it? So initially the rumors were that Charles was leading. He had the pace. He was over the McLarens. And then they said, oh, there was a mechanical issue.
Yeah.
And Ferrari have just come out and clarified that there was no mechanical issue. And the SF25 is so... Sorry, we're going to get a little technical here. But the SF25 is so susceptible to ride height changes.
Yeah.
That they pushed up the PSI on the hard compound tires so that the plank wear would be saved. Yeah. And I am like, that is where we are right now as Ferrari fans. Where 2 PSI can decide our entire weekend, and that is... But at least we didn't get disqualified. So
it was a decision of whether you want a podium so badly where there is a 50% chance of you getting disqualified, or you settle down at 4th place. And see, can I also say something? Ferrari have been at worse places, and you are crying over a 4th position. Okay.
Technically, we are still second in the championship, like way behind McLaren. But I would take it.
Yeah. So, as a Red Bull fan, I am crying happy tears because Max is dragging that piece of crap to podium or almost podiums every race, and when he doesn't get his way, he hits other drivers. But it is what it is. But having said that, I think Lewis is the big talk at Ferrari, because I think Leclerc is doing everything. Leclerc to Ferrari is what Max is to Red Bull in a way. He knows the car enough and he's doing his 100% to get the best out of it every time. The second driver is catching up.
I mean, see, I'll tell you, my point of view on this is very different to what maybe others were expecting.
Yeah.
I did not expect Lewis to come in there and be fast right from the get-go. And we've seen it across other drivers. Carlos Sainz was in red-hot form in Ferrari, and look at him struggling right now. People were expecting him to completely destroy Alex Albon.
Yeah.
And he's finding it hard to even put the car sometimes
In Q2.
In Q2, yeah. And the Williams has some pace this year. So there is that element to it. And even Fred, in fact, came out and said that, both Lewis and me, very silly of us, but we underestimated how much of a challenge it was for him to just change things around. So,
It's not even the same engine, right? That's the big thing. But it is Lewis Hamilton. We are talking about a 7-time world champion, right? So I don't think it is
7 or 8. You want to start the podcast off with that?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. 7 or 8. So there is digressing again, I think Karun Chandok made a point about how he could have been a 11-time world champion and how 4 of it was beyond his control.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, see, when you're a 7-time world, officially recognized 7-time world champion, it's not unfair to expect that from him.
So, because I'm a very old person and I've been watching this sport for a long time, I remember Hamilton coming in 2007, and there was a stat recently that Kimi has only a couple of points to go before becoming the rookie with the most points in a rookie season, which is because the point system was different. And when Lewis came in, I have never seen a more complete driver. And back then he was going up against Fernando Alonso, who had just beaten my childhood hero Michael Schumacher. Alonso, who I consider probably the best driver. I probably put him just ahead of Max as the best just driver that I've seen. And Lewis was on par with him on his first season. So I don't think he's lost it. I don't think he's lost the pace. I don't think he's lost the fire. I think it was Ferrari's job to give him a better car, which they have not done. And hopefully we will see some of this Lewis Hamilton magic, maybe some hammer time sometime next year.
But to see him this heartbroken is something else.
It's with all these champions, right? Like they don't, they have a couple of bad things and it's just like, oh, the world. I think that's just, they set their expectations so high and they put so much pressure on themselves that anything that, for Lewis not winning, like there was this stat about him, like his podiums at Silverstone, for example. This is the first time he's finished off the podium at Silverstone. Technically, he was almost there. It was not, he was chasing down the Hulk. The Hulk is the Hulk. Who was sad about that Hulkenberg podium? So he's not as good as Charles right now, but he's Lewis Hamilton. You cannot count out Lewis Hamilton. There's no way.
Okay, I'll ask a very controversial question. Who's the number 2 driver in Ferrari?
My Italian is... I'll have to...
Italian is not so good.
Yes.
It's like asking, like, which leg should I shoot myself in?
That's not something... Tifosi we don't pick that. It's
fine. Very good. Cool. Also, we're looking forward to the... Where are we this week? Zandvoort. Apparently, I was corrected by my audience that it is Zandvoort.
Zandvoort? Oh.
Fort. Zandvoort.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So, let's park the F1 conversation aside. I know this weekend I'm looking forward to the Dutch GP, but also I want to know what's up in the world of cricket. I am a cricket noob. I have stopped watching cricket since 2012, I guess, maybe. Ever since I graduated, I just had I had too many hobbies, too many things to watch. I even watch freaking Counter-Strike and Dota 2 tournaments, okay? So something had to move away to make space for all of these hobbies, and I kind of lost interest in cricket. But you have been a bigger cricket fan than a F1 fan.
I mean, yeah, because cricket is more, it's happening all the time. So yeah. But yeah, okay, some big things that happened. First thing is we had one of the most amazing test series that I've ever seen. You guys can let us know what you all thought about it. But 2-2, India was in England. We were expected to lose. We were expected to go there and get hammered. There were a lot of jokes about Shubman Gill targeting his voice out of all the things, saying he can't play in England. And we did a great job there. So that was one thing. The boys are on a rest now, which they've deserved. We have an Asia Cup coming up, which is so the Asia Cup it's a T20 tournament, and it's all the Asian countries that play. So it's Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India. Yeah. The big thing there is that India is officially playing Pakistan, which is being looked at as, it's a very controversial thing. So the BCCI has come out and said that we will not play them in India. We will not play them in a bilateral series, which is where we just play Pakistan. But if it's a multi-country tournament, we are definitely going to play them. So that is one big controversial thing. I have a hot take. So I am a patriot. My father-in-law was in the army, he's a retired colonel. So I completely understand the sentiments behind what people are feeling. But I am someone who kind of likes to have, sport separate from politics. And it is India-Pakistan. These teams entertain us so much. So the last time that we had a T20 match between India and Pakistan, a big match, was the T20 World Cup in 2022. And that was, for a long time, the most watched cricket match ever. We've been playing cricket from the last 180 years or whatever, something like that. So, it's always a blockbuster when India plays Pakistan.
Fair enough. And when is this Asia Cup? And
it's starting from the first week of September. Cool. And speaking of cricket, there is one person who shall not be named. Like, have you ever heard, those people, they're so annoying. They live in India, but they'll support another country's cricket team. Thankfully, I'm not friends with anyone who does that. But I know someone who does do that. And
he was supposed to be part of the podcast as well.
He was supposed to add some background noise to the podcast. But he's also, by the way, a big Manchester City fan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've done well. Or I don't know, I'm not really a football person. You'll have to tell me.
I think they had one of their best performances last week. They lost to Tottenham of all teams. Maybe that's why he didn't show up for the podcast today.
Actually, I was surprised because I know that United, well, technically they drew and then they lost on penalties.
Yeah, penalties. That's another thing. I think anybody who has ever been vocally a football fan is like scared for their life at the moment, unless you are a team unless your team is Liverpool or Arsenal, maybe. Everybody else is shitting bricks.
Because and what was the name? What is the name of the team that they lost to?
I don't even know.
Like Hogwarts 11 or something. It was some kindergarten team that they lost to. Like, my God.
Yeah. So Man United and Man City. Man City, see, they have their ups and downs. They are not fully trash yet. But Man United, I think people who support are kind of deluded at this point, because they've been calling that team a transitioning team for 12 years now, I think.
There was this parallel, between United fans and Ferrari fans. Like, you can't hurt us. We are just, there's nothing you can say.
See, the thing is, Ferrari is number 2 in the championship, okay? I think Ferrari is a lot more closer to Arsenal at this point than Man United. I know Reds also there. But, yeah, Man United, I think, are people who are middle-aged, who started supporting Man United in the 2005-06 era.
When they were a good team.
Yeah, when they were with Rooney and
Sir Alex.
Ronaldo and Rooney, I think, right? They were the and Beckham, obviously. Beckham was a little before, I think.
2004.
Yeah. So it's from that era, I think, people fell in love with Man United, and it's their first love, and it keeps hurting them. So, I mean, sucks to be you.
That's actually an interesting question. What was the first F1 race that you watched, and what got you hooked to F1?
I don't remember the first race I watched, okay? I'll tell you, how I got hooked to F1 was because I grew up without cable television. Okay, and I grew up not watching any of the greats. I didn't watch Alonso live. I didn't watch Schumacher live. But guys used to have, my college classmates used to have these hard disks with all of these TV series, and then I happened to come across Top Gear. So Top Gear, I was so hooked on to them. I fell in love with cars all over again. Other than just having them on posters, I would be like, oh, Ferrari has these models out. I know the horsepower of this model and all of that, right? And they were, not all of them, Jeremy Clarkson was a massive F1 fan. And they would invite, what was that segment called? The star in a reasonably priced car segment, right? So they would have these F1 drivers come and do a lap, and that used to be so exciting. So that's when I found out a lot about Lewis Hamilton, and he was, I think Lewis Hamilton came in the season just before he won the championship, I think.
2007.
Yeah. So I was watching all of those episodes in 2009. So that was around the season when Jenson Button, 2009 was the season when Jenson Button won, right? Braun GP had come. There was an episode on Top Gear where Jenson Button appears as somebody who's never won a single race, and then he comes back again to Top Gear as a world champion. After that, I was like, okay, that gave some perspective about that show and Formula One and how much he was celebrated as a British guy, our world champion, Jenson Button, and all of that. So I got so interested. And again, you were in college, right? You still had your laptops and your hard disk. You never had connection to cable TV to watch
We're
F1.
old guys, if you haven't figured out yet. We're pretty old.
So I was following F1 on, in those days, Formula One's website used to have tidbits of highlights with some random metal music running.
Which never used to load half the time.
Right? So I used to watch those replays, and that's how I started learning about Formula One. And because at the time Vettel was the man to beat, Vettel was the arrogant rookie, and he was which race was it in those days? I think lap 1 he spins, goes to 16th place, and then comes in the last race of the season and then wins the championship. I think it was 2012 or something.
2012. Oh, don't remind me of that.
Yeah, Fernando was supposed to win, and that death stare meme came from it. So that season was when I actually followed a season. And 2010 onwards, I started watching it. But that season was when I came out of the season thinking Sebastian Vettel is the greatest driver in the world, and then I changed my Facebook display picture to Sebastian Vettel. I've everywhere I had Sebastian Vettel posters and stuff like that. So that was my intro into F1. And after that, on and off, always was in touch with the seasons, but never watched fully. And then when Nico Rosberg and Lewis had the intense crash, I hooked on to it all over again. And then after that, I've been watching every race. Drive to Survive definitely helped a lot. That kind of made me feel like I'm not alone in watching the sport. Because in our friend circle, I think even now it's just the two of us who, we've known each other since 2012, 13. Even now it is just the two of us in our circle who have this much of stuff to talk about.
We've had people who've joined in and then have just faded away after that.
So that's my journey of F1. But what about yours though?
Mine is now, you're saying that and now I feel even older, but so the first race that I remember watching, and I had no clue. So they used to show the races on Star Sports back then. I was flipping through channels and I saw it was Monaco out of all the GPs, and it was Michael's 2004 season where he was the F2004 was the most dominant car at that time, and he was winning everything, and he was on course to win the Monaco GP, and he crashed with the back marker who was Jarno Trulli, the Renault driver, and he was out of that thing, and I remember being so angry that time, and I'm being like, how dare that guy ruin Michael Schumacher? I didn't know. All I heard was the name, okay? I just knew like, oh, Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
And then I started watching a few races, and then the first official season that I followed completely was 2005.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about how I am as a Ferrari fan, because that was Michael's worst season ever. 2006, we lost to Alonso famously.
Yeah.
And Michael retired for the first time.
Yeah.
2007 we won with Kimi, and then I was hooked after that, and it's been 2007. I've been waiting since 2007 for another win.
2007 Kimi, 2008 was
Lewis,
2009 was Jensen, and 10, 11, 12, 13 was Seb. Yeah.
And then we went to the Lewis era, and then
I was such a Seb fan. I almost supported Ferrari in those days when he moved to...
It's a thing, I hated Seb because I still remember, okay, this is how, I don't even know if you're going to put this in the podcast, but that 2012 season, okay,
Yeah.
I prayed. I'm like, God, you have to give me a Ferrari championship win. Because some background, some of you might have been watching back then, because again, like, we are old. So 2010, Alonso goes into the last season, at the last race at Abu Dhabi, and we were by we I mean Tifosi Ferrari. He was supposed to win it. He was the driver that had the most odds. He just had to finish 4th or something, and we would win the race. The Abu Dhabi track was not as favorable for overtaking back then, and he got stuck in 7th behind this Vitaly Petrov or something.
Yeah.
This Renault driver was a horrible driver, but he couldn't overtake him, and he lost the championship by 2 points or something. Okay, Seb won that. 2011 we had no chance. 2011 was the first time I actually watched the Indian GP. Hoping it comes back soon. But I was there when Seb won his 4th World Championship, him doing the donuts and all. And then 2012, with a crap car, which is why I still hold Alonso as one of the best ever, he took it down to the last race. Again, we were 3 points behind. And Seb, like you said, he spun on the first lap, and I was celebrating. I am like, it was a Brazilian
race,
GP, it was a wet race, and I said, God, you have answered my prayer, this is it. And somehow, in spite of spinning, in spite of damage, someone hit him, and that Red Bull was fast enough. I think he came in, he was supposed to come in 5th, I think, to win.
5th to win, and he came in 4th or something.
Something like that, and he won the thing, and trauma ever since then.
Yeah, I think everyone who's fallen in love with one driver have that moment where that driver was just superhuman, and ever since that you kind of don't want to see your superhuman driver go downhill or something, and that's what happened for me. Painfully, slowly, as he moved to Aston, Seb, I'm like, okay. So Seb got a podium once with Aston, and I got all excited only for him to get disqualified right after.
There was one. So the first one that I remember, people like, oh, he's back, was the Baku GP in 21. He came there, and then I remember that was at Hungary. Where he was fighting with Ocon. Ocon's first race.
So there were so many moments where the fanboy in me just didn't let go. But I'll tell you, one of the other things that came with supporting Seb was supporting Red Bull, because they legit were underdogs. Like, they had no business being in a technical sport. They are a drinks company, right? They are basically a marketing company, and the fact that they had Mark Webber, who was so badass, like at that time, then Vettel, and then how Ricciardo was also considered to be one of those brutal races, and Ricciardo's overtaking was like in his prime was
last of the late breakers.
And then there was Max Verstappen. So Max gave me hope, and I remember Max winning the race where Lewis and Nico crash, right? That was the day I fell in love with Red Bull all over again.
As a Ferrari fan, that was the most annoying one, because when the two damn Mercedes crash, I was like, Seb, win. Don't let the 18-year-old win a race in front of us.
And that was the day this guy gets promoted from Toro Rosso to Red Bull. And then you win. So I think what's his name, and Helmut Marko is milking that till this day.
Yeah.
My choices. Right, but then, yeah, so that's again one of those days where I fell in love with Max as a driver, a rookie, and a guy who just came in and no cussing. And I love that interview where he says he calls Ocon a P word. I mean, that was prime Sebastian Vettel also, by the way. Like, give no attention to what, being friendly to the media and all of that, PR ready or friendly, nothing. Just no filter, say what just comes out of your mouth. And then I think they forced him to be very PR friendly, I guess. But now I think another thing that I love as a similarity between Max and Seb is the fact that how Seb was hated so much, and then eventually people fell in love with his sense of humor, and they were like, oh, and when, one of the most quoted Ferrari dialogues these days is how everybody's a Ferrari fan. And who said it? Seb, right? I think it's the same with Max. He will be hated till this season end. Next season onwards, I don't have any hopes for Red Bull. He'll be in the midfield, but he'll be that lovable midfield guy for a while.
Max and lovable is you're the only person I've ever heard who's putting both those.
You know what? Mark my words. August 29th to 2025, I'm telling you, Max will retire as the most loved, beloved driver in the F1 community, just like Seb.
It's a huge prediction. Should I predict that Lance Stroll will be world champion one day or something? Like, I don't know. Those are both on even keel. I'm not sure.
I think we'll wind up for now. Next episode, I think we'll have a lot more to discuss. I'm guessing you will have the cricket tournament starting, we are summer break. Dutch GP. Yeah, so we would have a lot more to talk about next week. So today has been just our introductions and how we ended up where we are, just thinking through our own memory. And it's an honor and a privilege in a way to, after years of following something, that we get to talk about it. And we've taken a very bold, brave step of being open to talking about it with a lot of people.
When we're saying a lot of people, we know that it's my mom, it's Josh's mom. In fact, Auntie, I know you're busy, but please, after Kessel, watch a little bit of this. I'd appreciate it. But
yeah, so my wife would watch it. So hi.
I'm not so sure.
I don't think she'll watch till the end of the show, but yeah, she'll probably watch the thumbnail and be like, yes, good. Right. So that's it for the podcast. I will catch you all next week for episode 2. We have a power-packed weekend coming up. There's plenty of football happening. There's plenty of cricket in store for next week. And there is plenty of F1 action to talk about. So I shall see you all. Read us out.
Okay, thank you. Genuinely, thank you so much. If you've actually borne with us till the end of this podcast, we appreciate it. Please leave a like, share and subscribe. Leave us a comment if you enjoyed something. If you don't agree with us, we will reply to it. If not us, we will
ignore you.
Also, thank you very much to our behind the scenes man, Mr. Fernandez. Like I said, Basie, please DM him and
shout out to our wives who's given us permission to record the podcast.
Okay, thank you guys. See you all next week.
See you. Bye bye.